You know that feeling, right? You sit down, you're all set to focus on something important, maybe studying or work.
Or even something you actually want to do.
Exactly. And then, like, your mind just wanders off. One second you're there, the next you're, I don't know, checking your phone or thinking about dinner.
Oh, it's so common. That struggle to just keep your attention fixed. It's universal, really.
Absolutely. And, well, that exact challenge is what we're diving into today. We found this great guide, source material, that really digs into why focusing seems so hard these days.
Yeah, and maybe more importantly, it talks about how you can actually, improve it, get better at concentrating.
Right. So our goal here, our mission for this deep dive, is basically to pull out the key insights from this guide.
We want to give you, the listener, some practical stuff. Tools, understanding, things you can use to maybe sharpen your focus and cut through all the noise out there.
Okay, let's jump in then. First things first, what is focus, actually? Our source has a definition.
It does. It breaks it down pretty simply. Attention is just noticing something carefully, like the act of paying attention.
Okay.
And focus. Well, that's giving all your attention to one thing. That one thing part is key.
Right. Just one thing at a time. Sounds easy.
But it's really not, is it? Especially now.
No. The source uses this great analogy. It really clicked for me.
It's a flashlight one.
Yeah. Your brain is like a flashlight. When you're focused, that beam is pointed right at one specific object. It's lit up clear.
Uh-huh. And distraction, that's the light just bouncing everywhere, flicking from this to that, never really settling.
That paints such a clear picture.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, okay, where's my flashlight usually pointed during the day? Is it work? Studies? Or is it?
Your phone.
Yeah, probably my phone more often than I'd like to admit.
Thinking about that naturally gets us to the next question. Why is it so hard to keep that beam steady? The source points out some common culprits.
Yeah, the usual suspects, and number one is probably no surprise.
Yeah.
Just too many distractions.
They are literally everywhere now. Phones buzzing, notifications popping up constantly,
Social media feeds that never end.
TV in the background, music maybe. It all pulls at you.
The source gives this scenario. It's almost painfully relatable. You sit down, you can read something important, maybe study.
Okay, you ready?
Then your phone vibrates. Just a quick look, right? That's what you tell yourself.
Uh-huh. Famous last words?
Totally. 10 minutes later, maybe you're watching cat videos, maybe you're 50 posts deep into some feed. An hour goes by.
And how many words of that important thing did you read?
0. Not a single one.
It's a perfect, if slightly depressing, example. These external things just hijack that flashlight beam. And it ties into another big problem the source talks about, information overload.
Ah, yes. That feeling like your brain is trying to process way too much at once.
Exactly. You're reading an email, maybe listening to something, someone texts you, you're trying to remember what's for dinner.
You feel like you're multitasking, being productive.
Right. But here's the thing the source highlights. Your brain can't actually do all those things at the same time. It's not built for that.
Oh, right. I've heard this. It's just switching back and forth really, really fast.
Precisely. And every single time it switches, it uses up energy, mental energy. It's super inefficient, actually.
So when you feel busy multitasking, you're really just making your brain jump through hoops and tiring it out.
Pretty much. It's burning fuel quickly, leaving from task to task, but not really focusing deeply on anything.
Wow. Okay, that changes how I think about trying to juggle things.
Yeah.
So distractions, overload.
Yeah.
What else makes focus so hard?
Well, our physical state, it plays a massive role. Things like lack of sleep or just not being very healthy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Your brain needs fuel, just like your body needs rest, too.
Absolutely. The source really emphasizes sleep for cognitive energy. It says, a bad diet, too much sugar, maybe too much caffeine, that can actually mess with your focus.
So basic stuff, but important.
Really important. The advice is simple. Drink water, try to eat food that's good for your brain, get enough sleep. It's like you got to fuel the flashlight properly.
Okay. And then there's the emotional side. Stress, anxiety.
Big ones, yeah. When you're worried or anxious or scared about something, your brain naturally focuses on the worry, on the perceived problem.
It's like a survival mechanism almost.
Kind of. The source uses the example of being nervous for a test, an English test, say. Instead of focusing on the grammar rules you need to learn.
Your mind is just stuck on, what if I fail? What if I mess up?
Exactly. That internal chatter, that anxiety, it just completely takes over your focus, hijacks it.
So the source suggests, pausing here, kind of reflecting, for you listening, which of these tends to be the biggest focus stealer? Is it the phone? The overload? Feeling tired? Or is it stress?
It's good to think about your own patterns, and the source actually shares a few little stories, scenarios that might feel familiar.
Yeah, they help make it real. Like Maria the student.
Right, Maria. She really wants to study her English notes. She sits down, she's got the book open.
She's motivated.
Yeah. But then, boom, a text message. Then she suddenly needs to check Instagram. Just for a second.
Oh.
And you know the story. An hour passes. No studying done, but she's seen a lot of posts.
She's procrastinating. That's the word they use, right? Delaying the important thing.
Exactly. Procrastinate. Putting it off for something easier or more instantly rewarding. So the question for you listening is, are you sometimes like Maria? Do digital distractions pull you away?
Then there's Ahmed. He's working from home, trying to get a report done.
The modern struggle.
Totally. Email notifications are pinging constantly. The dog starts barking.
Yeah.
Maybe the kids are being loud nearby.
He just can't seem to get into that deep focus zone for very long. Too many interruptions. That constant switching.
Does Ahmed's situation sound familiar? Trying to focus in a less than ideal environment.
It's a huge challenge for so many people now.
And the last one is Kim, a busy mom. She's trying to learn something new, maybe online, late at night after the kids are asleep.
But she's just wiped out, exhausted from the day.
Yeah. Her mind feels fuzzy, keeps drifting off. She just feels completely burned out.
And this one is so common. The source makes a really clear link here. Focus needs energy. If you have no energy left in the tank,
Then you've got no focus. Simple as that.
pretty much, it's not about willpower sometimes. It's just about basic resources.
These stories really hit home. It's not just about wanting to focus. It's about dealing with real obstacles. Okay, so we understand the problem better now. What can we actually do? The source gives some practical strategies, right?
Yes, absolutely. Things you can start trying. The first one is about getting specific. Set clear goals.
Right, not just, I want to study English more. That's too vague.
Exactly. Make it concrete, something your brain can actually lock onto. Like, okay, for the next 15 minutes, I will study vocabulary.
The source even gives a little phrase to practice. Today, I will focus on learning 5 new words. Specific, actionable.
It gives your brain a clear target for that flashlight beam. Another technique they suggest is pretty popular, the Pomodoro technique.
Ah, yes, the timer method. Like work sprints.
Kind of. You focus really hard for 25 minutes, no distractions. Then you take a short break, maybe 5 minutes. You do that cycle maybe 4 times. Then you take a longer break. It breaks big tasks down.
Makes it feel less overwhelming.
Yeah.
You just need to focus for that 25-minute chunk. You can tell yourself, I focus for 25 minutes, then I rest.
Exactly. And obviously, a huge part of this is actively dealing with those distractions we talked about, removing them.
Yeah, the practical stuff, like turn off the notifications on your phone. Or maybe even better.
Put the phone in another room entirely while you're trying to work or study.
Right. Use a focus app maybe to block certain websites. The source asks a good question here. Look at your usual study spot or workspace. What's one thing, just one thing, you could remove or turn off right now to make it less distracting?
Thinking about that space leads to the next tip. Create a dedicated study space if you can.
Somewhere specific for focusing.
Yeah. The source says ideally it should be quiet, reasonably clean, and organized.
Comfortable chair, good lighting, the basics.
Exactly. Your environment, it really affects your mindset. A space designed for focus helps your mind stay focused. You're setting yourself up for success.
That makes sense. Creating the right conditions.
And specifically for learning, like English, the source has a great tip. Use it in small doses. Consistently.
Ah, so you don't need to block out like 3 hours straight, which can feel impossible anyway.
Right. Don't aim for these huge marathon sessions that just burn you out. Instead, maybe watch just 5 minutes of an English video or read one short article each day.
Use flashcards for a few minutes here or there.
Perfect. Or have a quick chat with a speaking partner. Small, regular interactions. Start small, stay consistent. That builds momentum without requiring massive focus up front.
That feels much more achievable.
All these strategies point towards a really encouraging idea in the source material. Focus isn't fixed. You can actually train your brain to get better at it.
Like a muscle.
Exactly like a muscle. It gets stronger with practice.
Okay, I like that. So it's not just something you're born with or without. How do you train it? Like, what's the workout?
They suggest a really simple mindfulness exercise. It's basically focus practice.
Okay, what do you do?
Well, if you're somewhere safe, you can just gently close your eyes, take a slow breath in and a slow breath out, and just put all your attention on the feeling of your breath. Just notice it going in and out, nothing else.
And what happens when your mind wanders? Because it will.
Oh, it definitely will. That's normal. The key is when you notice it's wandered off thinking about something else, you just gently, without judging yourself, bring your attention back to your breath.
So the practice isn't about not getting distracted. It's about noticing and returning.
Exactly. That act of noticing and bringing your focus back is the exercise. That's the rep. That's strengthening the focus muscle.
Ah, okay. That makes it feel less intimidating. It's about the practice of returning.
Got it.
Got it. So maybe let's do a quick recap of the main things we've pulled out from this source.
Good idea. So first, focus means concentrating all your attention on just one thing.
Uh-huh. And we know it's hard because of, well, distractions everywhere, especially phones and notifications.
Information overload, where our brain tries to switch too fast between tasks, which is really inefficient.
Right. And also, not getting enough sleep or being unhealthy drains our mental energy needed for focus.
And internal stuff too, like stress and anxiety, can totally hijack our attention.
Okay. But the good news is we can improve it. The source gave us strategies like setting really clear, specific goals,
Using techniques like Pomodoro, those 25-minute focus bursts with short breaks.
actively removing distractions, like physically moving your phone or turning things off,
Creating a dedicated workspace if possible, making your environment support focus.
and for learning, using small, consistent doses instead of long, draining sessions.
And remembering that big idea. Focus is like a muscle. You can train it. Maybe with simple mindfulness, just practicing bringing your attention back.
Yeah. The source even suggests repeating a phrase to yourself like, I can focus. I just need to practice. My brain is learning.
Saying that kind of reinforces the idea that it's a skill you're building, not a fixed trait.
Definitely. The source also recommends actually doing something with this info. Like maybe right now, you could pause and write down the top 3 things that usually distract you.
And then pick just one action you could take today to lessen one of those distractions.
Or maybe just talk it through with someone. What are your focus struggles? What's one strategy you're going to try?
Yeah, making it active. And quickly, those key vocabulary words we mentioned. Procrastinate. Delaying stuff.
Overload. Too much information hitting you.
Pomodoro, that 255 workers technique.
And focus itself, the opposite of distraction. Full attention on one thing.
Just reviewing those helps cement the ideas.
This whole dive has been really useful, I think. Just understanding why it's hard feels like half the battle.
It does. And knowing it's a skill you can build, like learning English or anything else,
Yeah.
that's really empowering, isn't it? It takes practice, sure, patience, but you can make progress.
Definitely. So the challenge from the source is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Just pick one technique we talked about. Pomodoro, removing one distraction, setting one clear goal, trying that breathing exercise.
Just one. And try it out today. See how it feels for you.
Yeah. And it leaves you with this kind of cool thought to chew on. If focus really is like a muscle, you can strengthen. Well, what things that seem really hard right now, maybe a big learning goal or a complex project, what might actually become possible for you if you just worked on building up this one skill, this focus muscle?
That's a great question. What new doors could stronger focus open? Something to definitely think about.